You're all right. Thank you for joining me this Sunday afternoon. I was gonna go check my watch and then realised I am not wearing one. We're off to a great start. Okay, so today I'm going to be drawing this little bean. I have realised that I don't have one of the colours that I need, so I'm just going to pull that out, which is Y2, which will be yellow 2. So let's pop you there and hope you don't fall over. Calikin's Ribbit and Inkwell Diary, sorry, is, I am elderly apparently. And whenever I look at usernames, I'm like, I can't tell where the next word begins. It's okay when they're capitalised, but oh my word. This is not a read on you in Calikin's Ribbit. It's just my brain. And hello, Ash. Callie, yeah, we'll do Callie. So today I actually can't find the original reference for this, which is a pain in the bum. I am getting increasingly frustrated with myself about this because it would be really nice to have a reference to show like what the sketch was from. I don't have that. This is very annoying. Ooh, well done. Well, they're great. I am actually really pleased with them. I've been considering buying them for ages, and then the company reached out to me, which I think means I really ought to put some kind of setting on this, but I don't think I can now that I'm live, which is annoying. I should probably put you know what, we're here, I need to be more engaging, let's do the thing. My hand gestures are all up like over here and I really should be doing them down here. So part of the reason I really struggle, but I talk with my hands. My parents call me Flappy, especially since they got their rescue. I used to really scare him because I talk so much with my hand. Like I'm literally doing it now off camera. It's winding me up. So I need to try and do it more on screen. So today I'm going to try and do, I think it's like, so the thing is I don't really know what cat's, I was going to call it skin tones. That's horrifying. Fur patterns. I'm not really very familiar with them. Like I know that you've got sort of calico, I know you've got others. So my plan, and I said that and I've immediately gone on autopilot and gone against my plan. I'm going to do like a calico-y, like very furry calico-y thing here, and then like a whiter underbelly. I'm going for a bit more of a normal colour palette for this one, because I'm going to be real honest, I keep going back and forth as to whether I should do it full magical or just like stylized, and then at a later point do a whole like series on magical, so like deliberately basing them off of like earth, water, fire, that kind of thing. For some I'm thinking maybe like leaf, you know. So I think it might be a tortoiseshell that I've got as my reference. I don't know. Again, I'm not very familiar. I know gingers are chaos, and black cats are sweethearts with a whole bunch of baggage due to God, what's the term? Superstition. I was going to say lore, like it's a video game. Hello, Payden Gray. I think that's the username. I'm sorry, but we'll get going with this. I've heard people say, or seen people say, that they view this as a very cozy stream. It never feels cozy to me. I think it's probably because I'm the one doing the drawing, but it always feels like chaos to me until the end, and then I'm like, oh, this is quite nice. I think that's probably, I clearly do not browse enough of the chaotic brain rot part of the internet, so that's, I would say that's on me. I don't care to browse those areas. Payden, it's a lovely, if that's your real name, gorgeous real name. Payden's lovely. If you've made it up, equally lovely. You might have guessed, but Pleasure Nerd was not my I wanted to say government name. Not my, could you, oh, that feels dystopian. Sorry, let me explain my thought process. Thought process there was, could you imagine if you were assigned a username from birth? And I hate that. That's a horrible idea. Do not want. That is really, yeah. I don't know if they do fluffy tortoiseshell cats. They do, like, cats are manufactured. But, like, I don't know whether like fluffy cats come in tortoiseshell. You guys have to... Thank you, Inkwell Diary. But the, like, I feel like fluffy cats are either white or black. I don't know if they ever are, like, tortoiseshell. Or ginger. Lots of fluffy ginger cats. Jesus Christ. No, stop. Oh. Okay, right. Sorry about that. I was listening to music to hype myself up, and had the earphones in still, and accidentally tapped them, and then they proceeded to play full volume in my ear. I was listening to some Fall Out Boy. I hope that's not coming through the speaker, but yeah, absolutely scared the absolute crap out of me. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear that you can get, like, fluffy tortoiseshell. I just feel like, you know, I've only ever seen them where they're, I don't want to call them short-haired, but, like, you know what I mean? Whew. But yeah, oh my word. This is going well, isn't it? Right, so I'm just doing kind of a base colour at the moment. I'm trying to decide if I have white feetsies or not. But what I want to do is have, like, yeah, that tortoiseshell, I want to say tabby, but that, I think, is a type of cat. You can tell I'm a dog person. I'm not as familiar with how to talk about cats. I know hairless cats. And I always feel really sorry for black cats, because I think, same with black dogs, to be fair. I think they're gorgeous. It's just a shame there's a lot of mistrust around them. Oh, thank you so much, Payden. So this is, yeah, a bit more of a realistic one. It's cool toned today. No, it's not. It's warm toned today. Should not let my mouth do the talking and my brain forget to do the thinking. So a lot of my other drawings recently have been cool toned, which means that they veer more towards blue. So you can actually get kind of a warm toned blue. It's, when you start really diving into it, you're like, this is a bit much. I remember one of our friends went to get one of those colour evaluation things for outfits, and which to me is a very like 70s, 80s thing. I know they've been about for a while now, but I'm really surprised at how much they've taken off because, yeah, my mum was telling me about how they used to do it back in the 70s and stuff. But, yeah, so he went and got it done, and he was saying how interesting it was. And I was like, oh, you could do it at home. You just get like a sheet of colour and put it underneath your chin and see how the colour reflects up. And the whole room went really quiet. And my friends were like, you understand that not everyone likes colour as much as you do? And I was like, oh, he could have just asked me. I would have helped. She was like, I don't think they were gonna do that. So yeah, I have an interest in colour that's a bit much. I mean, I have a video where I rant about Pantone's colour of the year, and I feel like I've probably missed the timing for that, of people caring. But it is something that has really pissed me off and continues to piss me off because I say this fully aware I am drawing entirely in neutrals, but I am very fed up with neutrals, particularly in fashion. Yeah, Kelly, exactly right. I mean, I am a firm believer that white is a colour. Because if you start, same with black and white are both colours. As soon as you start policing that part, the whole thing of colour gets really tricky, especially like light colours. So like, for example, that colour that I just used, this very light pink, I think it's E1, is a very, very light pink. Would that count as white? It could, because it's very, very, very pale. It's very close to white, but it is not actually white. So, and you can get different hues of white, and it just, yeah, same with black. You can get different hues of black, and it just, I don't like the idea of trying to, like, where is that cut off? That looks a bit mank. So yeah, but then my opinion is that it's really boring. I am so tired of this whole like quiet luxury nonsense. I think it's really classist, and like I don't really want to get into the nitty-gritty of my opinions of that, but it's definitely, it's rooted in class. It's rooted in trying to have things that the pools can't have, and having colours that require an excessive amount of maintenance is one of them. Like, yeah, last stream I talked about how Queen Victoria didn't wear white because it was for purity. It was to highlight the wealth of the British Empire, and then they retconned it, like not Queen Victoria, but like I guess fashionistas of the time retconned it to claim it was purity. It's just nonsense. But yeah. I think I've gone a bit overboard with that dark colour, don't you? I'm just, yeah. Inkwell Diary, I agree. I'm really irritated that millennials are associated with it. And I think part of it is because we do a lot of renting. I'm in a rental. I'm in my early 30s. And I just don't know. I think that neutrals are an easier way to get your deposit back. And it makes me really sad because my friends who own houses have gone really eccentric with their like choices. I've got a goth friend who has painted most of the rooms black, if not black, a very dark green. And she used to work for a company that sold paint. And I remember one day taking me aside. Just like, I know you're into art and everything. When you buy a house, if you dare cover your walls with millennial grey, I will personally hunt you down. And I was really shocked because I'm actually one of the more colourful dressers of my group. But yeah, it's just, I think some of it is having to deal with the landlord special that is Cloud Dancer White. I keep wanting to call it Clown White. I guess that kind of summarises my feelings on it, if I think it's clownish. But I feel like, yeah, everyone I personally know is not interested in neutrals. They are either like goth, so lots of blacks and greys and reds, or they're like really vibrant and eccentric like myself. So I just get a bit miffed when it's like, oh yes, it's all of them, because, you know, obviously it's not. And it's hyperbole and all of that. It's just, I don't know. Like, I think it's different when it's the whole beige mum of it all. I remember, and I couldn't figure out if it was rage bait or what, a few years ago, where this woman took like Christmas decorations from her child and made them all, like, painted them brown and beige. It has to be rage bait, because I was just like, there's no way on earth. Like, that's just so mean. Could you imagine, like, little kids need bright colours. They are just, bright colours are just so synonymous. Like, primary colours, like really vibrant, saturated primary and secondary colours feel like staples of childhood, right? But, oh, it's interesting, Callie, that you like the transparent plastic. I used to hate it because I always, I am not a very neat person, I think is the best way to put it. I am definitely an eccentric. But I used to really, really struggle with keeping those things kind of clean. And it used to make me really sad when they started to yellow. So I always found that really tricky. Let's go for this one. So I probably should explain what I'm doing, which is I'm just building up a bunch of colours so that when I go in with whites and what have you, you've got all of these colours kind of underneath to peek through. And by building up these colours, we're building more dimension. I'm saying a lot, and it really annoys me. I immediately go and say because I'm a dingbat. But yeah, so by building up these colours, it just makes the whole thing a bit more interesting and we'll go into corporate speak, dynamic. But yeah, I've got like lots and lots of friends who only wear, I mean, I've had a few say that they wear black because they are lazy. Like, well, these are people I know who are like, it's just so much easier. And I'm like, yeah, but what if you get clashing blacks? And I mean, this particular person was a bloke, and he was like, what do you mean clashing blacks? And I was like, because there's different colours of black, isn't there? And he was like, what? Yeah, you know, all sorts of different types of black. You know, you've got like a bluish black. Sometimes when it gets faded, it looks more brown. You can have like a greenish undertone. And it's like, I hadn't even thought about any of that. It was like, yeah, I can tell. But yeah, I don't know. I really love colour. It's something that brings me a lot of joy. And ooh, I feel like as a heads up, my feelings on like furniture being a certain colour, I think neutrals are probably better for furniture, because if you want to change something, like basically if your furniture is a specific colour, you have to really commit to that for as long as you have the furniture. If you're someone who doesn't mind waste, go off, you are not me. I could never. I'm just doing a bit of purple just to see how it looks. This is not particularly scientific or precise. I just want to see what adding a little bit of extra colour to the fur could do. If it looks horrendous, I'll go over it. But yeah, so if you're like, if you have neutral furniture, so like greys, or I'd recommend like against light colours, just because they'll get really dirty. I don't know why I'm giving interior design advice right now. Would recommend against white. I mean, this is a sensory thing for me. I really don't like leather or fake leather. It just feels gross. But you can use soft furnishings to add a lot of colour. You can use pictures, you can use plants, you can use books. There's so many different ways to add colour to a room that isn't precisely the furniture. That all being said, I'd love a greenery green desk chair, you know, like a good kind of nice green. I know a lot of like gaming stuff, especially when it's targeted towards women, is like pastels, so pinks and purples. I want like my whole gaming setup to be like these two colours up here. So what is it, G4 and G3. I think, like with some plants and stuff, yes please. But yeah, when it comes to sort of furniture, I think it's because leather tends to stick to my thighs. And I do not like that sensation. But I understand that my experience is not the universal experience. So everyone has got to do them when it comes to their own furniture. Like, for example, I really don't like a soft pillow or a soft bed or a really thick duvet. Soft pillows hurt my neck. Really soft beds hurt my back because I am elderly now. And I need something solid to rest on. But yeah. Does anyone feel like this belly is a little bit too yellow at the moment? I think it might be. Let's just scooch, scooch, scooch. Scooch, scooch, scooch. Look at you go. Whee! But, oh yeah, teals are fabulous. My coat is a teal and has been for many, many moons. Oh, Remogil? Sorry. Blue would be stunning. I just wish it was... So, Pleasure Nerd comes from the fact that I've been a gamer as long as I've been drawing. I've always loved video games. And I actually thought about being a video game, like going and studying video game design. And then decided I did not want to deal with the sexism that comes along with that. But so yeah, I wish there was just more colours, because it's black, white or red. And then if you get into like the more girly elements, because all girls are in fact 6, and there's no other colour to have, like light pink and purple. And I'm not, if you are a light pink and purple kind of girly, I support you fully. I am not one of them. I don't hate light pink or purple. They just are not my colours of choice. But there's no like, it's all that really sort of vibrant RGB, like, oh, I just wish there was more interesting things. Like something I would love to do would be to design, but I think, like, I guess I'm kind of in a bit of a niche of wanting more interesting colours in my setups. Ooh, I wonder what that would look like there. Let's see what that looks like when it dries down. Yeah, teal, purple. I'm just looking through and seeing the comments right now. I love all of your favourite colours. They're bringing me so much joy. Is it, like, I also love a good sunshiny yellow. I think that it's a very playful colour and is really just inspires me, as vomit-worthy as that phrase is. I just, whenever I see it, I feel joy. So, but it's a really specific kind of saturation, because too pale a yellow can be quite sickly and also very, very difficult to see. So like in my day job, I do a lot of stuff around accessibility, and I cannot tell you the amount of people that looks like they've got pee in their fur. One moment, I'm going to go change that. Another issue with yellow. Let me just Your lovely little footsie is not actually, well, I guess that's your bum. It's not covered in pee. We'll just fix that for you temporarily whilst you're on camera, my love. We'll go back to adding the yellow elsewhere. Yeah, I do a lot of hand talky. But I don't know, it's the amount of people who use yellow and then use light text, like a light sort of white or whatever, is really jarring for me, because I thought it was really clear that you should not put white and yellow together if you want someone to read it. Another combination, by the way, is orange and pink. Don't put those together. It blurs. I'll use my hand gestures here, but the orange and pink together causes like a blurring effect, and it's really frustrating to read because you can't see the edge of the letters. Many years ago in the UK, there were two brands, phone brands. There was Orange, who were a network, and there was, I think it was TalkTalk. And I remember when they merged, they had this huge ad campaign. It was absolutely everywhere. It was on buses, in trains, and they were saying in their adverts, who says orange and pink don't go together? And I remember actively thinking, you have not put them together in this advert. You've put pink on white or white on pink. You have not put orange, orange and pink, because that's a horrendous duo. But yeah, it's like something I've noticed with a lot of aesthetic, I'm using the word girly a lot in this stream, but like those very hyper feminine brands will often use, they'll use handwriting fonts, which drive me up the wall because I can't read them easily. And they'll put like a whole post in a handwriting font, and you're like, geez, that's hard. Like, I want to read the information you're giving me and I actually can't read this. Like, did you do a contrast check? Clearly you didn't. So there's been, yeah, I've seen it a lot where there's sort of these really girly brands who will do either pink handwriting font on a white background or white handwriting font on a pink background. And it's that really pastel pink, you know, like, let me pull up my swatch, but it will be a colour like that, but way, way, way more light. I don't even know if I've got anything that pale pink around me to show, but it really, like, you cannot read it for love nor money. And that really winds me up. I remember one night I was browsing, I think it was either Instagram or Threads, and this artist was posting an announcement. I think they either were launching a shop or shutting down their shop. I can't remember which one, but they had white text on a pale pastel pink background, like a baby pink background. And I had that night black and white thing on. Could not read it at all. Like, that you could not see the difference between the, like, it looked like they had just put white on their thing. And I could not understand why they would do that. Like, why would they put a blank post? So I took it off. Temporarily, you know, blinded myself, because I was definitely browsing late at night in bed when I should have been sleeping. And yeah, it was, you know, this announcement, couldn't read it at all. And yeah, stuff like that, it just really, really winds me up, because it doesn't need to be like that. And it's also, you know, I know that accessibility is thrown around in regards to sort of disabilities and stuff, and yes, absolutely, but it also just makes it harder for everyday people. Like, when you meet the needs, the accessibility needs, you tend to meet the needs of other people too. Like, it makes it better for everyone. This is a mini hill that I am currently fighting at my workplace at the moment. I've become known as the accessibility queen. But again, this isn't like, it's not hatred towards the colour pink. I do really quite like the colour pink. I like a good pink like this. I think if you wanted to do, say, a social media post where you had pink writing on a white background or white writing on a pink background, pick a colour like that one. Something that's way more saturated and darker, because it changes it completely. Oh, I've made a mess. When did that happen? Huh. Oh no. So I've smudged. I don't quite know how to clear this up. I've smudged twice. Right, are you now dry? No, I'm gonna figure out how to do this. Whilst I am trying to figure this out, I'm going to do the classic YouTube spiel of telling you all to like and subscribe if you've not already. It helps spread this around. It helps YouTube know that you like this and that you'd like other people to like it. I know right now we're a lovely small little thing, but wouldn't it be nice if other people got to see, God, this feels weird. One day I'll be able to do this and it'll not feel really strange. But yeah, if you could just hit the like. Sorry, my brain almost went on autopilot. Hit the like, smash that like button, hit the bell, so you can see more from me. I post every day, mostly, when I'm not too tired or have forgotten to do it. Oh dear. Something that I get worried about with doing a YouTube spiel is that I'll end up going into my telephone voice, which I think I've seen referred to as like a customer service voice, which are probably much more accurate. But my dad is a salesman, and he he used to be like pick us up from school, and he'd always be on the phone, and his voice would change when he hung up. So he'd always sound way more friendly and upbeat on the phone, and then he'd be like, "Okay, you ready to go?" So I always knew it as a telephone voice. So I developed a telephone voice very, very early on, which has really helped me with my job, because it just, I don't really know what else to say. It's just really helped. Just being really perky and like upbeat seems to really disarm people in the UK. So that is what I do. And I don't know, I want this to be me and not my telephone voice. But yeah, I'm trying to think of something that I could say. Hello, you're through to Pleasure Nerd. This is Pleasure Nerd speaking. How can I help? Oh, okay. Oh, that does sound like an issue. I'm really sorry that you're going through that. All right, well, yes, no, I understand. Yeah. Well, we'll try and get onto that right away. I'll just make some notes here, just to clarify. Blah, 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 blah. Or if I'm calling someone. Hi there, hi, is so-and-so there? Yes, no, so I'm from insert company here. We need to speak to so-and-so about an issue that they've raised with us. They're not available? Do you know when they will be made available? Nope, that's perfectly fine. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye. But yeah, my telephone voice, I have used... The funniest time I've used my telephone voice, I called my mum and she did not have my telephone number saved in her phone. So she was like, "Hello, Pleasure Nerds, mum." And to mess with her, just a little bit, not too much, because she's quite sensitive about being messed with. I was like, "Yes, sorry, is Pleasure Nerd's mum there?" Yes, speaking. Hi, so this is Pleasure Nerd. And she was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just want to catch up with my mum, have a conversation, check in." And she really had no idea what to do with that, which was great. And then afterwards, she was like, "That didn't sound like you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "It sounded way nicer than you. You always sound like really flat when you talk to me." And I was like, "No, I don't. That's just my telephone voice." She's like, "Oh, I've never heard it in person." But for me, especially, so I've been quite an anxious person for most of my life. I, especially as a young adult, very, very anxious. So something that I used to like doing was pretending that like my telephone voice made me like a different person, and it made it a lot easier for me to handle phone calls, because it wasn't me, it was this telephone person. Whoop. Sorry, I leant forward. And that just, I don't know, it made everything so much easier, because they weren't mad at me, they were mad at this little character. Now, I'm grown enough now that I don't need that, but it is helpful especially when I'm dealing with potentially difficult calls. That's always a helpful little thing for me to do. Just act like it's a role play thing instead of what I'm actually doing. And that's been very helpful. These are ENMY. I have put all of the things that I am using in the description of this video. Sorry, I'm just gonna pull out another marker because I need a light pink. Truly glorious, very enticing sounds. I'm sure you're all so pleased to have heard them. But yeah, it's really interesting how that has been helpful. At one of my previous workplaces, I used to deal with a lot of like male engineers, and they were lovely guys, and I was known as the person who would get stuff done. Like, I wouldn't faff around, I'd just get on with my job and get it done. So they used to tell people to wait until it got to me, and if it got to someone else, to hang up and call round again, which was like, gang, can you not do that? Because now I have more work to do. But they used to have a really fun time whenever they got to me, like whenever the engineers got to me on the phone, because they would mess with me back. So I'd be having my telephone voice because I thought I was speaking to the general public, and they'd be like, yes, well, I need this. And it's like, all right, I know who you are. What do you want? I'm like, I thought I really got you with that one. I'm like, no, not this time. Oh, thank you so much, Payden. That's very sweet of you to say. I'm glad it feels very genuine and authentic. I thought, briefly remembered it as human. I'm like, yes, I finally fit in as human. My goal has been completed. No one suspects a thing. I have assimilated perfectly into the human audience. Oh, another lean over noise. Thanks for being so loud. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I think I prefer that. I'm hoping you cannot hear my washing machine because it's just finished and it's busy singing away in the background. Oh, but yeah, I'm gonna try and let this dry for a moment and talk to you. Try not to make any dumb jokes. Maybe. I can't remember what kind of washer it is, but it sings a lot. I really like it. I like that it sings. My husband does not. He thinks it's really annoying, and I think it's adorable that it wants to sing to me. What I am really surprised by in my own drawing is that I really thought I'd need to do more here, but I think because I've done so much elsewhere, I don't really need to do as much on that like white belly. I think I'm gonna try and take oh, he's a handy inkwell diary. Your husband sounds very handy. Very useful man around the house. I keep leaning on the paint. Why do I do this? So we'll do a little quick hand check. Lightly covered in paint here. Disappeared from this hand mostly. Got a little bit here. But yeah. Not the cleanest, not the messiest. Oh, thank you, Callie, and everyone and Ash, everyone who's helping out Syed. Yeah, I can't quite see all of these at the point, so I really, really appreciate you guys doing that for me. I'm going to make some of this a little bit more deliberate. You know, I said I'd stop and let it dry. I'm a lying liar who lies, apparently. Right, I'm actually going to let it done. Let it done, let it dry. Maybe I'll readjust during this period. Nope, that's not what I meant, camera. My camera is like, you know what, we need a dynamic angle. How about really close? So, now the way that I do my outlines, as many of you know, is I will do thinner lines and then I will thicken them up wherever is possible. And it is because I ever so slightly shake when I do fine lines. Yeah, exactly, Callie. It really does just try and sort of... It loves the drawing so much it wants to see it up close, you know? Right, so I think for this we'll try and do small-ish eyes. And this is the bit where this starts getting very ASMR, because I start talking quieter in the hopes that for whatever reason that might steady my hand. I don't think it does, but kind of irrationally, this is what my brain says. So just get a wee bit quieter at this point. Just to make this hopefully a little bit smoother. And then I get to hear all of the ringing in my ears from my tinnitus, or tinnitus, or however you pronounce it. That's the issue with words that can be pronounced like lots of different ways, like scone and scone. Both are correct, no matter what people say. Right, we're going to give you... I've made all my cats quite smiley, I've realised. Well, so for Rachel, you can't really do the outlines first, in my experience, with paint markers. It just means that you will end up completely covering the line art, which is no fun. I've just realised that I need to do a bit of paint. No, right, we'll commit to the line art. Stop it. Here we go. So, but I also do this with alcohol markers where I do the drawing first and then do the outline later. And I'm going to be really upfront with you. It's because I can't remember which ones of my pens are smudge proof and like waterproof. Some of them, like this Copic, say, oh no, come on, say that they are waterproof, This one says it's Copic proof, which means that it's alcohol marker proof. But sometimes they're waterproof but not alcohol marker proof, and I really don't like smudging black into my drawings. It really, like, genuinely winds me up. I don't care about it with other people's work, but it really annoys me with mine. Just not how I wanted the work to be perceived. And that is one of those things, isn't it? So I tend to sketch out underneath, and also I find that if I do outlines, I tend to try and stick to them, and I get really precious about it. Whereas when I do outlines second, like I have here, I can kind of play around with how it looks, and I don't mind if I go over the lines because I drew the lines after, so it's kind of my own fault. But yeah, it's right. I'm just going to turn this one moment. Get those little feetsies up close. But I'm trying to be less of a perfectionist, and since I've been less of a perfectionist, I have noticed my art has improved. Like it's much more expressive. Something that I've realized about myself is that I don't particularly like super well, like, you know, when it's really, really smoothly blended, like it's almost like a computer gradient level of smooth. I really don't like that anymore. I don't know why. When I was younger, I thought that was like peak skill. And now I'm a bit older, I don't like how it looks. I like that more. I like seeing the brush strokes. Makes me much happier to see it. And then once I've done that, like, I don't know, I think as I've got older, I just really much prefer the a more expressive line. Shouldn't have done that. But, right, I'm going to move these out my way a bit because I think that's what the issue is. Oh, goodbye, Palin. It was lovely to see you. Right, 3, 2. It's feeling weird in my hand. I don't. Right, how am I going to do this? Right. Maybe if I move, it will feel less weird. No, more weird. Okay. I hope you guys don't mind me just umming and ahhing. So the pen has now started to feel weird in my hand, and I am trying to figure out how to finish this. As in, like, finish this line, not this piece. So, you know, we'll draw somewhere else first. Let's get you here. I'll move that. But there's something really charming about the imperfect. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Much like that. I will try it again with a thicker pen, make it a little bit smoother. But something that I have noticed is I'm not after things of perfect people, you know. I'm not interested in stories of of perfect people. The kind of interesting stories are often very messy people. Is why, you know, reality TV is so popular, because it's messy people being messy. And there's just something quite human about the imperfect. And I like it. Makes it feel real. But yeah, I definitely agree, sort of not perfect blending, but very smooth blending is a skill. It takes a lot of time to be able to do that. And it's absolutely a skill. I think some of it is that I over glorified, I don't know if that's a word, but like I obsessed about it too much when I was younger, to the point where it stopped being like, I stopped having as much fun, because I was like, oh, this needs to be perfectly blended. And that was also back when I did sort of digital paintings using Clip Studio Pro, or what it used to be called, which was Manga Studio. I don't know if I like that as much. We can always go over it. I have that song Fabulous by Meek stuck in my head at the moment. Yeah. Well, so, like, something that I wish I could teach all the manga and animated obsessed teenagers, because I used to be one of them, is the reason you need to learn real anatomy instead of anime anatomy or manga anatomy is that it helps you understand what needs to be exaggerated. So, and like, I wish that instead of telling me it wasn't an art form I could get into, going, I understand your love of this. How about, in order to help you get better, you learn more about this, and this, because the artists that you are obsessing over would have learnt this too. I think it's very easy to dismiss young people's interests and view them as less valid. But it just means you need to adapt kind of an approach. And I know teachers are overworked and underpaid. I have many teachers, many friends who went and became teachers because apparently they hate themselves. And I just wish, so a bunch of them are maths teachers, very creative people, went and studied and teach maths. But a lot of them have like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder games with kids where they help them ask them about the probabilities of things happening and sort of use it as a way to help the more awkward kids socialise. And you know, it's a fun little thing that they do. And because of, oh, goodbye people who are leaving, I hope you have a lovely time and welcome new people. But yeah, they were saying that it's helped some of their shyer kids to talk more and be more comfortable in their classes. And I just don't, you know, there's so many things you can do. I mean, if I had been into like comic art in regards to, you know, like newspaper strips, which are highly, highly stylized, like they are so stylized. You know, like think Garfield, those kind of things, like very, very stylized. Those aren't as kind of demonized by the schools. So it's just, and also there's an element of like, I don't know, I am a firm believer in meeting people where they're at, and it makes me really annoyed. Oh, hello, Blue. It's so lovely to see you. I'm sorry that you need comforting today, but I'm glad you're here. And I'm really glad that you had a good teacher, Inkwell Diaries, and hello, silliest of sillies. I had some really good maths teachers. I used to really enjoy maths because it was nice knowing where you went wrong, basically. Whereas English, it was all a matter of interpretation and like technique and what have you. Whereas maths, you either did it right or you did it wrong. I used to find formulas incredibly fun to do. Because it was so methodical. Ooh, I like that. That was fun. Right. So I'm just doing a bit of the fur. I think I want to add more of like a light teal into the fur. Make it a bit more magical. For me, since sort of being more deliberate in what I'm learning, I've learned a lot more and I've improved a lot faster. Colour being one of the first things that I went and explored further and played around with. The thing with stylizing is that you need to be aware of what you're doing. I hope that makes sense. But like if you're exaggerating, so for example, let's think of caricatures. Oh, thank you very much. But if we think about caricatures, you really need to pick one feature to exaggerate. So like Tim Burton exaggerates the eyes and then like completely removes the chin. Whereas, you know, you could exaggerate the nose. You could give them a huge nose. Think Laker Tim Burton, like Corpse Bride, they tend to have very exaggerated like chins or eyes. So one feature dominates the face. When it's too much, like when there's too much in the face, it gets really, really busy, and then it's really difficult to figure out where to look. And that is a pain. Thank you for joining me, Callie. I hope you have a wonderful day. I am wrapping up soon. So yeah, I hope you have a fab time. Well, I hope you enjoy your markers, silliest of sillies. So I have done a lot of digital. I moved away from digital when there was the inklings of AI generated art. You guys are not gonna like this answer. I didn't view myself as good enough to compete with AI. So I decided that instead of competing, I would just change and go back to traditional, because what I struggled with was being able to show, like I couldn't film the screen as I was drawing, and I was beginning to find that incredibly irritating, because what I wanted to do was film the screen and have it being really clear so that I could show I was the one drawing it and what was going on and what was happening with the layers. I could not find a way. I'd got a bunch of different equipment and it just wasn't working for me. And so I got very irritated. And then I decided I would try and switch to markers again. So I got a black and white set, and I asked for a bigger set from my mother-in-law for Christmas, and the rest is kind of history. I got back into alcohol markers again, and yeah, just been having a lot of fun ever since, playing around doing portraits. And now I've got back into acrylic markers here. And it's just, I don't know, there's something about traditional that makes me very, very happy. But it's, yeah, I don't know. It's all good. I remember when that started kicking off and I was like, not for me. I cannot be bothered with the fight. There is, like, value my mental health a bit too much, you know? So, decided to just pivot a little. Why do I feel like this isn't quite done? Is it around the mouth? Maybe it's around the mouth. Let's find that. I mean, honestly, the best thing for you to do is to start with a nice set of cheap markers to figure out if you like doing it. There's no point in spending all your money or like an excessive amount of money on something that you're not even going to use. It's better to kind of trial it with something cheap and cheerful, and then if you enjoy it, keep going. Like with art supplies, the reason a lot of them, like especially when you start going in professional quality stuff, the reason why a lot of art supplies are very expensive is because they are archival. And what archival means is that basically the paint, the colour will stay for years. Like what's the brain? You think that it's going to be, or someone wants to keep it for years, it might be in a gallery, whatever reason it is, there is something that you want to keep for a long time. Paint is not always colour fast, and what that means is that it won't fade. Alcohol markers are not colour fast. They will fade in the sun. UV will dull them. They will change colour. The best way that you can try and stop that is to scan them. You can get some like UV resistant spray, like fixative, which I've used for commissions before, and will use on them. But the the thing with all of that is that it just kind of it won't last forever, you know, and there's a lot that could affect something like that, which is a shame. And I think that, you know, the cheaper it is, the more it's like you're playing around with it. The more expensive it is, the higher the quality of like pigments and stuff. And you might think, oh, I want really high quality pigments. But when you're doing something like what I'm doing here, which is messing around, I don't want this to stay forever, you know? Like, that's not my priority here. Pardon me. I'm doing a silly little drawing of a cat in a box. If I was painting on a canvas and wanted that to be in someone else's home, I would use archival quality, or at least try to. Or if it was a commission, something like that, something where I want it to last, that's where you use that stuff. Whoop. Right, I'm going to do the whiskers. Oh no! Huh. Okay. Let's try this side. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. I was getting shit. Okay. Okay, we got this. What a thing to happen on stream. Right. What an interesting tale of events there. Okay, so that was going to be the last thing that I did before closing this out. If I let this dry and then try and pick it off, that's going to take some time. So I think I'll do a few little cute things around here, but I think this is a little sign from the universe telling me to piss off. Okay, this is going to be fun to watch back. Oh, bugger. It's all right. We'll fix it. It'll be okay. We'll be okay. But, right, on that wonderful note, I hope you have a lovely day. I hope your paint doesn't do this nonsense. But yeah, I'll show you guys the actual end result afterwards. I'm not, by the way, I'm not upset. Genuinely, I was thinking when I was doing that part, I was like, oh, I'll do the whiskers and then I'll wrap up. And it's gone and done that, which is just, I'm not too mad at the thing. It's just how thick it is at the bottom is bothering me. So I'll fix that. I'll put it in my posts. But I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I will speak to you later in the week. It'll probably be Wednesday or Thursday that I will stream, but I'll try and set it up in advance. Have a lovely day. I hope you enjoy your day. I think in America it's like the Super Bowl or the Superb Owl. I don't know. Don't really pay attention to your sports. Your politics, different matter. But anyway, have a lovely, lovely day. I hope to see you soon. Bye!